Believe it or not, I don't have like supervision or anything. In fact, probably not even 20/20 with my glasses. But I seem to be able to find blight. So that means that Jason Allenin is either blind or he doesn't care. Those are the two choices. So Oak Street. In 2014, there was a drug bust on the corner of my block. Okay. Backyard was filled with garbage, toilet bowls, tires, basically entire bathroom seemed to have been ripped out, other furniture, the whole bit. I cleaned that up because I was sick of looking at it. Nothing has been done with that property since 2014. The back door, no matter how many times I close it, it is reopened. Nothing has been done to the interior of that house since the people were arrested. Garbage spread everywhere, rotting, everything's falling from the ceiling now because it's been 8 years. I've seen animals going in and out of that. And again, closed the door, it's open, so who knows who else is going in there. We move over onto Pine Street. Bunch of garbage in that yard, was there for several years. I cleaned up a lot of it, the smelly stuff, because I was sick of looking at it again. And I got a pretty strong nose, but I'm kind of immune to a lot of it. It was bad, including the large container of waterlogged cat feces. So that was a treat. There's still plenty of garbage and tires in that yard that qualifies as blight. Moving down Pine Street, we get to the house that has 2 trees growing out of the roof. I understand 1 tree. Who doesn't have 1 tree growing out of their roof? But I think we should cap it at that and not allow 2. There's the flapping tarp from the back that you can see from the road, and part of the roof has actually collapsed. We move over to Tamarack Street. Since at least spring, that's when I spotted it, there's furniture in the yard. That house is vacant, and some other garbage and stuff. It's just been sitting there right in the front yard. And then we move back over to Oak Street. The one house, we got the junk pile in the back, and that's a boat with no bottom to it, and mattresses and a whole bunch of other junk. They've now added furniture onto the easement with no trespassing signs, so I guess they're claiming the easement and the sidewalk. That house has had multiple owners over the past few years, but nothing is ever cleaned. And then we move up the street. House was vacant for a lot of years until a year and a half ago, almost exactly a year and a half ago today. We got semi-trailers, we got 2 tractors, piles of junk and scrap metal, 2 vehicles blocking the sidewalk, out-of-state plates, of course, like almost every vehicle in Ironwood has out-of-state plates. There's an engine sitting on the easement and the sidewalk, appliances, an ATV up on blocks, just horrendous. That's what I get to see in a half-mile walk in my neighborhood. Downtown, we've had 3 mattresses piled in an alley downtown for over a year. I see those have been joined by a pile of tires at the same building and a TV and a computer monitor a little bit down. A friend of mine counted 200 yards with junk cars. Not junk cars, 200 yards with junk cars, and many of those yards have multiple cars in them. That was just south of Air Street. I could say so much more. Those are just some of the highlights. And I shouldn't have to complain. I shouldn't have to be the one to call. I shouldn't have to come here. And I sure as hell should not have to be the one that goes up and cleans it up myself. Now, your blight process is ridiculous. 15 years, blight has been a top priority. It's ridiculous. You send out a notice. Well, only if somebody complains. We don't really go out and look for blight. So then we send out a notice. Then we wait a month and we send out a second notice. And we wait another month and we send out a third notice. Then we schedule a public hearing. Then the next meeting we have the public hearing. And I don't know what you're expecting. Who's going to show up and go, please don't clean up the rotting pile of garbage in my neighbor's yard? I love watching the rats. Then you kind of vote to step in, except you give them like a 2 to 3, 4 week extension, and nobody really ever checks up on it. And that's 15 years of a top priority. Now look, I will, this is my closing.
Yeah, thank you.
Look, I am under no illusions that me showing up here and saying anything is going to change anything. I get it. Thank you for your comments. I know how it is. I know that when I'm dead, that nothing that I've done has made a damn bit of difference. I realize that. All the litter will reappear, all the blight will still be there or reappear itself. But the one thing I can say, and Jim could say this too, at least I tried, which is a whole hell of a lot more than what most people have done. So that's it, and I'm out of here.
Thank you, Steve.